Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They come in on a pretty good roll here, winners of 3 straight.
And going back through the tape, I thought they looked pretty good last week. It was a solid win, a comprehensive win.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Saints, they come into this one knowing it's been a while since tasting victory. They've dropped 4 in a row.
Can they remember what it was like to win a game? In these types of situations, you're looking for someone to inspire you, and it doesn't have to be one of your best players either.
Both of these teams about to reach the halfway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is fielded a couple yards deep. Here come the Saints for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the first pick of the second round back in 2001, and that's the veteran Drew Brees.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or 2 free.
Carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. So we'll look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
Sheldon Richardson there to make the play. And a look now at the offense for New Orleans.
And running back Mark Ingram is coming into his own as a runner in the NFL. Over 1,000 yards each the last 2 seasons. And now he's teaming with Alvin Kamara in a backfield where both of them can run the football effectively and both of them can catch out of the backfield as well.
Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11.
Ready?
From the gun, it's Brees. And that is incomplete.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. 51 yards on the punt there. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback out of Michigan State. The former Spartan, it's Kirk Cousins.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win. And that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Let's take a look here at the offense for Minnesota.
Kyle Rudolph had his 2nd Pro Bowl appearance last year when he had 8 touchdowns, just 1 off of his career high. One of the most likable, upbeat players in the league, continues to improve as a blocker, as one of the best pass-catching tight ends in the league. One of the guys that the Vikings like to build around for the future.
From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, Cousins again. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Von Bell, and his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
Ready?
Now Breeze throwing on second down. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away. And now it's third. Quickly now a look at the defensive starters for Minnesota.
Named an All-Pro for the first time in 2017, cornerback Xavier Rhodes relishes the challenge of guarding the game's top wide receivers. He'll trail them anywhere, even into the opposing backfield, to make big-time plays.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is third and long. Now Breeze on third down. That's complete to Meredith. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
They'll give it to him up the middle, and he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers putting up their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third level.
And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Calling a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's third and goal.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up fourth.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground, and now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
And Lutz puts this one through. And the Saints are going to take a 3-0 lead. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Here comes Kirk Cousins now to lead his offense back out there. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. Let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
And here now, New Orleans defensive unit.
And the Saints got everything they want out of Marshawn Lattimore and more his rookie season. Yes, the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. But here's the best part. Didn't give up a single touchdown pass all season and made it very difficult for people to complete a pass in his area.
And it's a welcome back to health for last year's #1 pick. This is Dalvin Cook. He lost 2 there, and it's third down. A tackle for loss there. 2 last week. He's tough to handle coming off the edge.
And when you talk about a defensive end, your first thought is how does he rush the passer? That's where he makes his big plays getting into the backfield. But the best ones can play the run as well. And that's what we're seeing from him, that excellent combination of holding the point of attack and also getting upfield to make plays in the backfield.
And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. So first and 10 now from the 30. Now a play fake here on first down. Rolling to his left. And he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Those are the numbers from Rudolph from last week's game. 5 catches, 60 yards.
And what we just saw there was exactly what they need against this defense. Big plays. They were able to pick up a first down on that one.
To throw is Cousins. He's going to look deep down the field. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on it at second down. These two teams, of course, met in the much-dissected NFC divisional round game a season ago, and they also met in the Monday night opener last year. And Adrian Peterson's return to Minnesota, gosh, that seems like a lifetime ago. It was actually Peterson's replacement, though, Dalvin Cook, who went for 127 yards in a 29-19 Viking victory. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down. The last drive, remember, similar situation. He forced the ball into coverage through the pick. He learned better there.
Yeah, similar to a golfer that's confronted with a shot that you just can't make. Sometimes you have to take your medicine, as they say, right? Just pull it down, take off, and go. Don't make something worse than what it was.
And he's got him. Got his man on the end route. Complete. A gain of 6 there on first.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Throw left side complete. It's Morgan. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Morgan. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. That good for 6 as they keep this drive right on rolling.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. First down, here's the run with Cook. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And he gets stopped up at the 31 after a gain of maybe a yard.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. 4th down after the New Orleans defense holds serve.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
Carlson able to put this one through. And that will tie us at 3-3. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here, and they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that.
Toe bashed it.
Super toe.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down.
Ready?
Breeze to throw on second down. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Daniil Hunter in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And Josh Hill has it. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
A good return there, 17 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them want to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. A second down throw for Cousins. That'll go as a loss of 5. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 15. From the gun, here's Cousins. Escaping the pressure right. On the run, he'll let it go deep. And that's caught inside the 35. A huge play there. Cousins to his tight end, Rudolph. 41 yards.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
A give. This is Cook. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
On second down, Cook. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. 2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. Calling a gain of 10, and they pick up the first.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup. Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. They run, Cook, and the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
The Vikings on third down. They've been near perfect, 4 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 7.
Hey. Here we go. Wait your hunt.
Working out of the gun, Cousins. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. The Saints say they have it, and they do.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit and not go down and fumble the ball.
To throw is Breeze. It's caught on the right side. It's Smith.
Holding offense.
So a decent game,
Still
but all
first
for
down.
naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20.
Ready. You ready?
Following the penalty, it's Kamara. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime.
Hey, yellow lady.
Back to the ground, this time with Ingram. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. Another timeout called by the Vikings now, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half.
Ready. You ready?
On third down, Mark Ingram. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense, as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. Here's Thomas Morstead now, as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Sherrills to return it. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. Final play of the half. Cousins is going to go for a big play downfield. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So we've reached halftime in a low-scoring affair, just a pair of field goals. 3-3 is our score. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll begin out in Houston. And as you see, they were winners back on Thursday night. Bruce Ellington, well over 100 yards receiving with 3 touchdown catches. From there we say, so long, America. Hello, England. As we head over the Atlantic, check out the action in London. And things didn't work out for them as they fall to the visiting Philadelphia Eagles. 24-12, the final score. And finally on Monday Night Football, the costumes will be out for the final game of October. Patriots and Bills from Buffalo. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been as tight as we expected. All tied through one half of play. With the call of the second half, let's get it back to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Second half ready to roll. 2 field goals, the combined output in half number 1. Could be first touchdown wins. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Now a 2nd down throw for Cousins. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. The intended receiver was Laquan Treadwell, and it's the Third down. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Dancing to his left. He can run for it, and he will. He'll have a first down past the 40. And all the way down to the 41-yard line. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
Now, that definitely hurts because the mindset is getting a 3-and-out there, and they don't get it done. They give up the scramble and a pickup for a first down.
Now Cook, and it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. The throw left side complete to Treadwell. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. And Rudolph has it left side. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check-down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
And now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. That throw good for 4. It's second down. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his second catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him. And what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their third corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
Breeze now to throw. Trying to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Harrison Smith. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line. He was trying to hit Thomas that time.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10. Following the interception, Cousins, and complete, right side, the tight end Rudolph. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9.
4 down, check, 4 down. Lucky 50.
Cousins now from the 50. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. Broke through some contact, but unable to reach the 40. It's a gain of 7, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They run it for the first time with a backup Murray. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Give him a yard on the play, and he's definitely short. It'll be 4th down and a few inches.
They tried their best to pick up that 3rd and 1, but their surge wasn't enough to counteract what came back at them from the defensive side, was it?
Offensive line, especially in the middle, looked like they were on skates a little bit when that one started.
So now we bring up 4th and inches. This will be a critical call.
Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. Just a gain of 3, but they'll certainly take it as they convert on 4th down.
Let's face it, you always want a team full of guys who can get you first downs and big plays of all styles, but you've got to have a big man. You can just turn and hand it to, and he can be dependable in picking up first downs.
On first down, Murray. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. And the play clock is going to run out here. They're in no hurry to get a play off.
Delay of game, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards.
Still 2nd down.
They'll try to throw now. Cousins. The attempt on the dive, and he has it. What a catch. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
Every guy that plays this game has plenty of people around him that are concerned for his health and well-being. He had no regard for his body on that catch at all, did he?
Middle of the field, diving to grab it? No, he didn't. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This is 3rd and 4.
Here we go. What?
Now Cook. And the trick play doesn't work. Good reaction there defensively, and it'll be 4th down. Well, pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down.
Now, that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. And his throw is incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Breeze will try again on second down. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
He is going to find Hill here. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down. Breeze now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Again, they'll throw with Breeze. And this is a catch by Ted Ginn. A gain of 6 there on first.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
That's on Teron Armstead, the left tackle. The false start hurts him there a bit, backs him up to 2nd and 9.
Ready?
Breeze to throw again. Looking left side and completing it to Thomas. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Breeze going to come up here, 1st and 10. And he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive.
Yellow lady.
Again, it's Breeze. That's caught. It's Thomas. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And just like that, it's 3rd down. Working from the gun, it's Breeze. And this is going to be incomplete.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle third of the field where he threw that one. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Now Breeze got to have this one. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. A great play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Saints can take the lead if they can hit the extra point. Well, he wasn't the guy they were initially going for, but after going through the progressions, it worked.
When you have plenty of people who can catch the football, you don't always have to go to your primary target, and sometimes that target is actually covered. Nice job coming off of that and getting it to someone who was open.
And the man out of the backfield gets in for the score. Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They come up on a second down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire. He's back to throw. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. First down now, but that clock rolling. Back to throw. Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. And he's got this down to the 35. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. And 2 big plays, one after the other. Now all of a sudden, they're on the march.
Got to feel good about what they've just gotten done, and now feel really good about what's in front of them.
Well, we had a number of good games in the afternoon sessions, but this Sunday nighter might top them all. So we come up here on 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And now the Saints are going to take a timeout on defense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Now a give. This is Murray. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. The Vikings on 3rd down. 5 out of 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Back to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Now the Saints will use their 3rd and final timeout. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. So a big one coming now for Daniel Carlson. This to take the lead here in the final minute. The kick by Carlson is good. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. All right, so time to reset here. It's a huge kick there. Gives them the lead, but they've got to be careful that their celebrations aren't a little too premature.
You're exactly right about that, because there still is time for the other guys to run a few plays and get into field goal position. So this defense is going to need to come up with one final stop if they're going to get out of here with a victory.
Drew Brees getting ready to go again on offense. This is something we've seen many times over the course of his career. Can he pull off another 4th quarter comeback?
And it's very strange, isn't it? Because when it's a player of this magnitude, even though the guys on defense have the lead and are sitting in the best spot, they're maybe the most nervous people in the stadium because they've seen this happen to too many people before, too many teams. They've got to find a way to shut him down.
Here we go again for the grizzled vet. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks. And the spike will come with 34 seconds to go. They'll look to throw. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. The tight end Josh Hill was the target. And that takes us from second to third down. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
On the check down, he finds Kamara, and he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and that's going to make it 4th down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And an alley to run. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still... You're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for Minnesota, the win here means it'll be a 7-1 first half of the season. And they'll have another home date next week as the Detroit Lions come to town. Meanwhile, for the Saints, they dipped to 2-5 now with the loss. And they'll have a chance at redemption next week at home against the Los Angeles Rams. And for Charles Davis and our